The coldest winter morning you've ever felt doesn't even come close. Out in the universe, there are places so unimaginably cold that the air you breathe would freeze solid, then the very atoms themselves would almost stop moving entirely. There's a hard limit to how cold anything can ever get, a temperature called absolute zero, and scientists have spent over a century chasing it. Today, we're journeying to the coldest places in existence, from a ghostly nebula 5,000 light-years away, to a laboratory on Earth that holds the all-time record. And the coldest spot of all might surprise you. Let's freeze time and find out. Welcome back to the channel, where we make the universe's extremes easy to understand and impossible to forget. Today's journey will take us to the very edge of cold itself. Stay with me to the end, because the single coldest place in the entire known universe isn't a distant star or a frozen planet. It's something humans built right here on Earth. Let's get into it. Let's start with a simple question. How cold is empty space? You might assume it's the coldest thing of all, but here's a surprise. Even the most desolate void, far from any star, isn't at absolute zero. It sits at about minus 270 degrees Celsius, or 2.7 Kelvin. Why not colder? Because the entire universe is bathed in a faint afterglow left over from the Big Bang itself, a whisper of radiation called the cosmic microwave background. It fills all of space, in every direction, keeping the cosmos at that gentle baseline temperature. So space isn't truly empty, and it isn't truly at zero. It has a temperature floor, which raises a fascinating question. If the background of the universe is 2.7 Kelvin, how could anywhere natural possibly be colder than that? And yet, somewhere out there, one place defies that floor, and it's one of the most beautiful objects in the sky. Meet the Boomerang Nebula, in the constellation Centaurus, around 5,000 light-years from Earth. According to the European Space Agency, its average temperature is roughly minus 272 degrees Celsius, about 1 Kelvin. That makes it the coldest known natural place in the entire universe, colder even than the background of space itself. But how? The secret is the same physics that keeps your refrigerator cold. At the heart of the nebula, a dying star is flinging out gas at tremendous speed. As that gas expands rapidly into the surrounding vacuum, it cools dramatically, exactly the way a can of compressed air turns icy cold when you spray it. This natural cosmic refrigerator chills the gas below the temperature of the cosmic microwave background. It's a fleeting, fragile state. But for now, this ghostly nebula is the coldest natural spot we've ever found. And it brings us to the ultimate limit. Just how cold can anything get? To answer that, we need to understand what temperature actually is, and why there's a wall you can never cross. Here's the key idea. Temperature is really just a measure of motion. Everything around you is made of atoms, and those atoms are constantly jiggling and vibrating. The hotter something is, the more violently its atoms move. The colder it gets, the more they slow down. So absolute zero is the point where that motion stops almost entirely, the lowest temperature that can possibly exist. It sits at minus 273.15 degrees Celsius, or minus 459.67 Fahrenheit. And here's the catch that has fascinated physicists for generations. You can get tantalizingly close, but you can never actually reach it. The laws of thermodynamics forbid it. Removing the very last scrap of energy from a system would take an infinite number of steps. Absolute zero is a destination you can approach forever but never arrive at, and the closest anyone has ever come wasn't a place in deep space at all. This is the twist I promised. The coldest temperature ever recorded anywhere in the known universe was created by humans, here on Earth. In a lab in Bremen, Germany, a team of German and French researchers cooled a cloud of atoms to an almost incomprehensible 38 picokelvin. That's 38 trillionths of a single degree above absolute zero. Written out, that's a decimal point followed by 10 zeros and then a 38. To do it, they created an exotic form of matter called a Bose-Einstein condensate, sometimes called the fifth state of matter. When atoms get this cold, something magical happens. They stop behaving as separate particles and merge into a single, unified quantum blob, all acting as one. The team chilled rubidium atoms into this state, then dropped them down a 120-meter tower to achieve a few precious seconds of near-perfect stillness and weightlessness. The result held for about 2 seconds. the closest brush with absolute zero in history. And it's not just Bremen. Aboard the International Space Station, NASA operates the Cold Atom Lab, routinely reaching temperatures around 100 nanokelvin, using the weightlessness of orbit to hold atoms perfectly still. The coldest known spots in the universe, it turns out, are the ones we engineer ourselves. You might be wondering, why go to such extraordinary lengths to chase the cold? The answer is that the ultra-cold world reveals physics we can see nowhere else. Near absolute zero, the everyday rules fade away, and the strange, beautiful behavior of quantum mechanics comes into full view. Atoms start acting like waves. Liquids like helium become superfluids, flowing without any friction, and even creeping up the walls of their containers. These conditions aren't just curiosities. They power some of our most precise instruments, the atomic clocks behind satellite navigation, which lose less than a second over millions of years. They're central to the race to build quantum computers, and they let physicists test the very foundations of reality, probing whether our deepest theories hold up at their absolute limits. The cold, it turns out, is where the future of technology is being forged. So let's bring the journey together. We know empty space sits at about 2.7 Kelvin, warmed by the afterglow of the Big Bang. We know the coldest natural place we've found is the Boomerang Nebula, at around 1 Kelvin. We know absolute zero, at minus 273.15 degrees, is a limit nature will never let us reach. And we know that the single coldest spot ever recorded, just 38 trillionths of a degree above that limit, was made by human hands. Cold, it turns out, is one of the most extreme frontiers we've ever explored. So, what are the coldest places in the universe? From the faint chill of empty space, to the ghostly Boomerang Nebula freezing itself below the cosmic background, to absolute zero, the unreachable wall at the bottom of all temperature, the cold reveals a universe far stranger than it first appears. And in our endless drive to understand it, we've done something remarkable. We've outchilled the cosmos itself, building the coldest places in all of existence, right here at home. The pursuit of cold isn't really about temperature at all. It's about reaching the very edges of what's possible. If this video gave you chills, the good kind, do me a quick favor and hit that like button, because it genuinely helps the channel reach more curious minds like yours. Share it with a friend who'd find this fascinating, and if you're not subscribed yet, tap that button and ring the bell so you never miss where we explore next. Until then, keep looking up, because the universe is full of extremes, and we're only just getting started.